How you doing, everybody? It's me, Crazyfrankie, and I'd like to welcome you to my Super Bowl 55 pick. It is finally here. This weekend it's Super Bowl Sunday, and I'm sure those who are fans of the Buccaneers and the Chiefs have been waiting for this moment. I just want to touch before we talk about my Super Bowl pick and I talk about what advantages each team has. I got to say for the NFL, despite players did testing positive for COVID majority of the season, it is quite surprising that the NFL has made it this far, all the way up to the final game of the 2020 NFL season, and that is the Super Bowl. Now, they're expected to have at least 25% capacity from what I've heard in Tampa, and it's the first time that the Buccaneers, the first NFL team to host a home game at their home stadium, because the Super Bowl has always been a neutral site. So NFL record was finally broken that the Buccaneers became the first NFL team to host the Super Bowl. And other than that, when I look back between the conference championship games, let me quickly get into that. I wasn't surprised that the Chiefs were going to beat the Bills. The Bills had a good run, but I just think they need a little bit more than what they had in order to keep up with the Chiefs, because the Chiefs, they knew their offense was better. They knew that they're a complete team and they're the class of the AFC. But the Bills, I guarantee, will be back next season, and they are possibly the biggest threat to the Chiefs again going into next season. Probably, maybe I would also say maybe the Cleveland Browns or some other NFL team. Now in the NFC Championship, I never doubted Tom Brady one bit, because despite the three interceptions he threw in that game, and obviously that could be that, I don't know how mentally he will be for the Super Bowl, but I think he'll be fine. Despite the three interceptions in that game, the Buccaneers still managed to win because the Packers did not capitalize on the interceptions. They only got field goals out of it, and obviously that field goal late in the game was a factor as well. When you don't give Tom Brady the ball, I would have to say, if anybody were continued putting blame on the Packers, it's the whole team. It's not just Aaron Rodgers. It's the defense that did not get good stops on that Buccaneer offense, and Matt LaFleur as well. Anyways, my friends, it is time to talk about Super Bowl 55. Now, when I talk about the Super Bowl, I usually talk about advantages and what things maybe that both teams have in common. I want to say to the advantages right now. Let me go over advantages here. I would have to say for the advantages on the Kansas City side, in terms of one thing that they do have an advantage over the Buccaneers, and that's wide receivers. The weaponry of Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, it's the best duo they've had. It's the best two times combo wide receiver that you don't often see in the NFL, maybe other than when Gronkowski and Amendola were playing together for the Patriots. In terms of wide receivers, I give that part to the edge to the Chiefs on that one. As far as the running game goes, I have to give a slight edge to the Buccaneers in terms of the running game. They tend to run the ball just a tad better than the Chiefs, but obviously the running game, I consider that with Patrick Mahomes. So that's probably maybe the advantages between those two teams. Now, what do I say that are about even? Defense-wise, I could give a slight edge to the Buccaneers, but I have to say, defense-wise, they're about evenly matched. I know a lot of it has to deal with the fact that, as I'm reading on my laptop right here, in terms of the injury reports, Whitehead and Winfield Jr. are expected as safeties, big part for the Buccaneers. They are expected to play in this game, even though they got hurt in the NFC Championship. Kansas City-wise, in terms of defense-wise, I would have to say they're as close to evenly matched with the Buccaneers as probably maybe other NFL teams. In terms of special teams, I would have to say they're about evenly matched too. But I kind of like to give a slight edge to the Chiefs on that one because they do have a damn good kicker. And it's really, I mean, before I make my pick here, I have to say that when I look at this game here, this may be the toughest Super Bowl pick in recent memory. Probably the last time this pick was tough, it had to have been Super Bowl 49, when it was the Seahawks and the Patriots, when both these teams were as evenly matched. So it's tough to say how this game's going to turn out, because I look at it from a standpoint. For these teams to win, they got to be able to manage the clock well, limit the turnovers, limit the possessions, and I think the most important factor is, can their players stay healthy? The way I look at this Super Bowl here, I think it's going to come down to the final drive. Who has the ball last? I expect this game to be close. And now it is time for my Super Bowl pick. The Buccaneers versus the Chiefs, Super Bowl 54. Currently, right now, the Chiefs are still, from all the odds makers across the board, they have the Chiefs still as a 3-point favorite. Don't be surprised by the time it's kickoff, that number will be much lower. Maybe 2.5, maybe 2. But I would say, take the 3 right now. It's going to come down to who has the ball last. I could look at it this way. Tampa Bay's defense has to figure out a way to neutralize Patrick Mahomes, and hopefully they can get to him. But they also have to find a way in dealing with their wide receivers with the weaponry of Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. For the Buccaneers to win, obviously Tom Brady, you got to trust the man who got you there. It's in his hands. And obviously the run game is an important factor, because really Patrick Mahomes is really the only running game that the Chiefs have. And Fournette is for the Buccaneers is really their running game for the Bucs. It is a tough pick. But when I look at this game here, it is going to come down to the final drive. And who do I think would have the ball last? It's going to be Tom Brady. I'm predicting here that the Chiefs will have the lead, but if they give Tom Brady any time left in the fourth quarter, I think he will pull his last-minute drive to win the game for the Buccaneers. My Super Bowl 54 pick, it's the Buccaneers over the Chiefs. Tom Brady has been there before. He knows how the final drive works, and I have a feeling he's going to get the ball last in this game. The final drive will come down to the Buccaneers offense, and I can see them beating the Chiefs here. I don't think they're going to repeat as champions here. If this was a different team, I would probably say the Chiefs would repeat. But when you're going up against Tom Brady in this epic matchup, a matchup for the ages here, the last matchup between these two quarterbacks, between Brady and Mahomes, this game is going to be good. There's no way this game's a blowout. It'll be a close game for all 4 quarters here. But when I look at the final drive, I think Brady's going to get the ball last. And that final drive for that Buccaneers, he's going to go down and he's going to win the game for the Buccaneers. My pick, my Super Bowl 55 pick, it is the Buccaneers over the Chiefs. I want to take this time, everybody. Thank you so much for watching all my video picks throughout the entire 2020 NFL season. And yes, I will be back for the 2021 NFL season in September to do this one more time, especially to everybody out there who also does a channel for NFL picks. You guys also rock too. We're a great community. We know we have a love for football, and I can't wait to do this again come September when we make picks for the 2021 NFL season. Enjoy the game, everybody. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and I'll see you guys next season. Take care, and of course, enjoy your football weekend.